Big developments in the Wesley Snipes tax evasion case.
Today, the U.S. Marshal in Orlando ordered the actor to report to prison next week.
Many would think that once you are a Hollywood star, you can do whatever you want, up to the point that the law cannot do anything to you. Newsflash, you can't. Of course, many of these Hollywood stars were able to get off the hook from the crimes they have committed because of their status and connection. However, many others were not so lucky. Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we'll look into 10 Hollywood stars from the 80s that Nemesis caught with them and ended up in jail. The last one will shock you. Number 10. Tim Allen. From a drug trafficker to a sitcom star, Tim Allen was most popular for the role of Tim Taylor in Home Improvement. The show, Home Improvement, was a massive hit. During the period of 1994, it was rated #1 television series. However, before Allen gained recognition as a sitcom star, he was heavily into drugs. Not a user, but a trafficker. Prior to his fame, which stemmed from Home Improvement, Tim Allen had a little rough run with the law. In 1978, Allen was arrested at the Kalamazoo Battle Creek International Airport in Michigan for drug trafficking, cocaine. As at that time, he was carrying over a pound of cocaine, which meant he faced a possible life sentence. However, that would have been his end, and we would never have seen him grace the screen of Home Improvement. Being a smart man, Allen cooperated with authorities and provided information on other dealers. In exchange for his cooperation, his sentence was reduced, and he served just 2 years and 4 months in federal prison. Number 9. Wesley Snipes. Everyone must have watched Blade, where the dark hunky Wesley Snipes played Blade, the vampire that killed other vampires, a trilogy which came much later in the 1990s and was a blockbuster. However, before this time, Wesley was already gaining fame for starring in movies such as Major League, Wildcats, Street of Gold, and many more. He was already popular. Blades just took his popularity to a whole new level. However, inasmuch as Wesley was a vampire slaying vampire in Blades, he wasn't doing so well with his taxes.
Big developments in the Wesley Snipes tax evasion case.
Today, the U.S. Marshal in Orlando ordered the actor to report to prison next week.
In 2008, Wesley was convicted for willful failure to file federal income tax returns. Wesley had, however, argued that since he didn't believe that he was a U.S. citizen, his income was not taxable. The court didn't accept this fact and sentenced him to 28 months in prison. Number 8. Tommy Lee. Thomas Lee Bass, commonly known as Tommy Lee, is a musician best known as the drummer for the rock band Motley Crue. Motley Crue is an American hard rock heavy metal band with glam metal sound and debauchery on stage, established on the 1980s. The band had sold over 100 million albums worldwide and is considered one of the most successful rock bands. The most popular tunes in their repertoire include Kickstart My Heart, Girls, 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 and Dr. Feelgood, Tommy Lee. However, doesn't only beat drums, it seems he likes beating his loved ones as well.
My name is Erwin Peter, Your Honor. I represent Mr. Lee, best of all.
His lifestyle alone, being a rock drummer, was a catalyst that put him at loggerheads occasionally with law, but his beating of his wife was what landed him in jail. In 1998, he was sentenced to 6 months in jail following a domestic violence incident involving his then-wife, actress Pamela Anderson. Lee was accused of kicking Anderson while she was holding their son, Dylan. This case attracted significant negative publicity for both Lee and Anderson. Number 7. Christian Slater. Christian Slater began his acting career playing in teen movies, such as Heathers, 1988, and Pump Up the Volume, 1989, where he demonstrated his wit and turned into a rising star of the young Hollywood. Not only did he make a mark in comedy films, but he also got involved in other genres of movies, including Interview with the Vampire, which was released in 1994, and Glengarry Glen Ross, in which he acted in 1992. Slater also continued enjoying success in the 2000s with Very Bad Things, 1998, and the acclaimed show, Mr. TV series Robot, 2015 to 2019, where he received a Golden Globe Award for his role. However, Christian also had a bad run with the law, which led him to have various spells in jail.
It doesn't take long before Christian's equally bad boy behavior off-screen begins to seep into every facet of his life.
His first spell started in 1989, when he served 33 days in jail for assaulting a police officer while intoxicated. But that didn't stop him, because he got involved in a more severe incident that occurred in 1997 when he was arrested again. But this time, he assaulted his girlfriend and resisted arrest while under the influence of drugs and alcohol. This led to a 3-month jail sentence, along with mandatory drug and anger management programs. Number 6. Matthew Broderick. Matthew Broderick is an acknowledged Hollywood actor who starred in movies known worldwide, such as Ferris Bueller's Day Off and The Producers. His life was going exceptionally well until 1987, when his reckless driving caused the death of 2 people.
When on the evening of August 5th, were driving in North Ireland when their car veered into the wrong lane, causing a head-on collision with another vehicle that sadly killed the mother and daughter driving in the other car.
Anna Gallagher and her mother, Margaret Doherty. Broderick was driving on the wrong side of the road in the car he was driving, which resulted in a head-on collision. Matthew was then convicted to 2 years probation and community service. Number 5. Michelle Rodriguez. Michelle Rodriguez has been an A-list actress ever since, with some of her works including Girl Fight 2000, a movie revolving around a woman who tap dances and a man who boxes, and the first part of the popular action movie, The Fast and the Furious. She further enhanced her action heroine demure with movies like SWAT, 2003, Avatar, 2009, and Resident Evil film series comprising Resident Evil, 2002, Resident Evil Aftermath, 2004, Resident Evil Extinction, 2008, Resident Evil Afterlife, 2010, and the last one, Resident Evil, The Final Chapter, 201.
I dare you to. Do it.
Just swing at you right now.
Nonetheless, Rodriguez is not a virgin of crime and has been arrested several times in her career, most being charges of DUI and probation. In 2003, she was implicated in a hit-and-run scandal, DUI, and driving with a suspended license, a case that left her on probation. She was arrested once more in 2006 in Hawaii for the same reason while shooting Lost. This violated her California probation and called for a sterner punishment. As a result, Rodriguez did serve some jail time even after she became a part of early release programs. In 2007, she was held in contempt of the court for drinking alcohol, thereby breaching her probation from the 2003 DUI charges, and she was put on 180 days in jail. Nonetheless, due to the overcrowded jails, she was released from jail after the term of 17 days only. Number 4. Sean Penn. Sean Penn is a 2-time Academy Award winner for Best Actor, recognized for his roles in Mystic River, 2003, and Milk, 2008, where he portrayed slain gay rights activist Harvey Milk. He began his acting career in the 1970s with television appearances and made his film debut in Taps, 1981. In the 1980s, he gained recognition with roles in Fast Times at Ridgemont High, 1982, and At Close Range, 1986. However, Penn isn't a man without flaws. In fact, his flaws have in the past led to a tussle with the law, marking his career with legal troubles. The most notable one occurred while working on the film Colors with Robert Duvall. He repeatedly punched an extra on set, leading to a conviction for assault and a 33-day jail sentence. Number 3. Dustin Diamond. Dustin Diamond is probably most famous for portraying the role of Screech Powers in the teen television series Saved by the Bell that aired in the 1990s. Diamond was cast in the show in 1988 and stayed with the cast when the show was officially canceled in 1993. One of the most loved and memorable characters was Screech, the awkward sidekick. For many people, his most identifiable performance was, however, for the character Diamond reprised in various spin-offs and reunion specials. Sadly, Diamond's life was fraught with legal issues.
Saved by the Bell actor Dustin Diamond made another appearance in court today.
In 2014, he was twice detained in Wisconsin on charges of disorderly conduct and possession of a switchblade during a bar fight. These misdemeanors were committed in the year 2015, and he was detained and held behind bars for 4 months. Despite being let out early due to changes in his behavior, Diamond was arrested again in 2016 for not adhering to parole. This led to another reincarceration. These legal problems dogged his career while he was still portraying Screech, a character who symbolized the clean-cut high school good guy. Number 2. Paul McCartney. Sir Paul McCartney needs no introduction. As a member of the Beatles and a successful solo artist, he is one of the most influential musicians of all time. In the 1960s, the Beatles, with John Lennon, George Harrison, and Ringo Starr, revolutionized music with their catchy tunes, innovative songwriting, and electrifying stage presence. After the band split in 1970, McCartney embarked on a hugely successful solo career, producing iconic albums like Band on the Run, 1973, and Tug of War, 1982. In January 1980, McCartney's life took an unexpected turn when he was arrested at Tokyo's Narita International Airport.
Former Beatle Paul McCartney was jailed without bail in Tokyo today after being arrested on charges of marijuana possession.
Japanese customs officials discovered nearly half a pound of marijuana in his luggage, a quantity that could have led to a 7-year prison sentence. McCartney spent 9 days in a Tokyo jail before being released and deported from Japan. While the exact reasons for his relatively lenient treatment remain unclear, it's believed his celebrity status may have played a role. McCartney always maintained that the marijuana was for personal use. Number 1. Robert Downey Jr.
When we return to the story of Robert Downey Jr., drugs land the troubled actor in prison.
The last is none other than Tony Stark, the face of MCU. But he wasn't always Tony Stark. He wasn't always the good superhero Iron Man. It starts with his battle with substance abuse that gave him a run for his money against the law, leading to a series of arrests and jail time in the late 1990s and early 2000s. Downey Jr. began experimenting with drugs at a young age and developed a dependency on cocaine and heroin throughout his 20s and 30s. In 1996, Los Angeles police found him passed out in an alley with heroin and a handgun, leading to his first arrest for drug possession. Over the next few years, he faced several more arrests for drug possession and missed court appearances due to his addiction. In 1997, while on probation for his 1996 arrest, Downey Jr. checked himself out of a court-ordered drug treatment program, violating his probation and resulting in a 6-month jail sentence. He served part of this sentence at the Malibu Rehabilitation Center, a minimum security facility. This jail time served as a turning point for Downey Jr., who later credited it with helping him overcome his addiction. However, he renewed his focus and sobriety and rebuilt his career in the 2000s, eventually becoming one of Hollywood's most bankable stars again. Celebrities are humans just like every other person, and they all have their flaw. And just like this list, Some of them ended up in jail because of the flaw. This, however, is the end of today's video. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe for more videos on Hollywood lifestyle.